Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Nothing Zilch Nada. We're your host, Xavier Dean.
Great.
And before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to who I will say are one or who I will say are our biggest supporters here at Nothing Zilch Nada. My grandparents from Tennessee. Those of you may not know, but this is our first recording since Thanksgiving. I was there around that time, and I opened Christmas presents because I wouldn't see them on Christmas. And they ended up giving me this wonderful microphone, which I'm using today. So if you're wondering why my voice sounds different from other episodes, it's because of this. It is wonderful. I've already tested it out. I think it sounds great. Jake, how do you think it sounds?
Hey.
All right. But again, just a special shout out to them. And now we move on to our topic, which is provided by Mr. Jacob Green.
All right. So, full transparency, this past week has been crazy because I've been finishing up final projects and whatnot. So I wanted to, because it's December, I want to try and get into some like holiday themed topics. And I decided that for today, it's not exactly holiday themed, but it kind of is. But like you're Xavier, you're familiar with the song "The 12 Days of Christmas."
Yes, yes, I am.
So how about 12 months of Tolkien?
Oh,
So um, for those that don't know, or if you've seen our episode where we talked about our top 10 favorite books, I really like Tolkien. He's one of my favorite writers. I think he's one of the best fantasy writers out there, because of how much detail he's put into his worlds. Um, and like just through the use of his writing alone, his writing is complex, and yet, at least for me, it seems like you're able to follow him along to the point where like you're actually becoming interested in something that you're not familiar with before. Um, But last year on Christmas, my older sister uh gave me this Tolkien calendar for my for Christmas. And this one is pretty interesting. Uh so this is the Tolkien 2025 calendar. They have a few different ones. I guess they do one like every single year. Um but I have the 2025 one. So, few things about this. One, it's illustrated by someone named John Howe, or is it Howie? It's like Howe.
I think it's how.
Okay, so yeah, it's illustrated by John Howe, and like, look at this artwork. This
It is.
artwork is impressive, and like looks straight out of straight out of like how you would visualize the books, because I think the movies and the books are a little bit different when it comes to like their overall artistic approach. And that makes sense because one movie is live action and the other one is like straight up artwork where like you can be a little bit more creative with it. Um so this is kind of how I visualize Lord of the Rings when I'm reading it. Um Although I do say Lord of the Rings, because here's the catch to this calendar. So, and hence why I wanted to talk about this today. So, 12 months in a year. Each month not only has an illustration, but they also feature a passage from some of Tolkien's writing, not just from The Hobbit and not just from Lord of the Rings, but stuff like the Silmarillion and the Book of Lost Tales, like very deep Middle Earth stuff that I haven't even gotten to yet. Um, but there is a quote from each book that accompanies the illustration, depending on like which passage they're talking about. Um, so I say we go through like each month, and maybe we could discuss like the quotes a little bit.
All right.
Um,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah, and for this, I found a website where I'm able to show the artwork illustration um, without without having to show my calendar the entire time, but I'll be using the calendar in order to read the quotes. So excuse me a minute as I figure out. Let's see. I'm trying to share. Oh, there it is. All right. Can you see it okay?
Yep, I can see it.
Alrighty. Um, let's see what happens if I click on it. Okay, yeah. Um, so this first one is called The Door of Night, and from from pages 215 to 216. I love how they categorize like the stuff so that way you can see what exact passage it comes from each book. But it's from the Book of Lost Tales, and it's from a chapter. Actually, it's the Book of Lost Tales, Part One. Um, but it's from a chapter called "The Hiding of Valinor." Thus it came that the gods dared a very great deed, the most mighty of all their works, for making a fleet of magic, rafts, and boats with almost aid. And otherwise, had none of these endured to sail upon the waters of Vai, they drew to the wall of things, and they made the door of night. There it still stands, utterly black and huge against the deep blue walls. Its pillars are of the mightiest basalt, and its lintel likewise. But great black dragons of black stone are carved thereon, and shadowy smoke pours slowly from their jaws.
Okay.
So as we could see from the illustration, the thing that
Mm,
stands out here is like the black dragons that are apparently made of stone. But as you can see, they look very lifelike.
yep. I can tell.
Mhm.
It is honestly, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. And this is the first illustration. I should also mention this too. So the calendar has like the holidays of the year, Christmas and Easter and all those different holidays, but they also have stuff related to Tolkien and the stuff that he published. So J.R.R. Tolkien was born on January 3rd, 1892.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but and I love the title too, like The Door of Night,
Hmm.
where like you got the night blue sky and you got like the black stone door surrounding it.
Yep.
So are we ready to move on?
Yeah, I think we're ready to move on.
Alrighty. The next one is interesting. It's called The Killing of the Trees. And it's from page 100 of a chapter called The Annals of Aman, Morgoth's Ring.
Hmm.
Morgoth's Ring is the name of the book. Then Melkor sprang up, and with his black spear he smote each tree to its core. A little above the roots and their sap poured forth, as it were their blood, and that was spilled upon the ground. But Ongiltians sucked it up, and going then from tree to tree, she plied her foul lips to their wounds. till they were drained, and the poison that was in her passed into their tissues and withered them, and they died.
Mm,
So this is a venomous spider.
yep.
And as you can see, her abdomen has like all these like skulls like grafted into it.
Mm,
Um, and also, I don't know if this is the case or not, but I think that's Sauron
hmm.
because
It
like
looks like
because
Sauron.
no matter the version of like Lord of the Rings uh that you're familiar with, this is the artwork of Sauron that's always predicted.
Yep. I'll say that
Um,
I feel like I feel like this picture currently encapsulates Sauron, or not Sauron, perfectly encapsulates the the quote. Okay,
yeah,
you
and
stop. You stop. Sorry, Lofty.
but I like the what is it? So this is the thing that I was thinking about, like for each month of each of these quotes is like how it correlates to like each month because it's not like a winter themed based one, but I think about how like sometimes you get warmer weather in like the latter half of February and how things are like starting to thaw out. Again, depends on where you live at. We
It does.
live in Illinois. We live in Illinois. And to be
Yeah, so we don't.
honest,
It's not warm until May.
eh,
Well,
it,
April,
it, dep-
May.
it depends. It depends. I will say winter has definitely came earlier than usual this year.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to.
already.
We're supposed to get more later this week.
Yeah, it was actually supposed to snow today, but today has just been misting.
Well, that's
All right,
ooh.
so we move on to March. This is oh, and I need to address this too. I
Mhm.
don't think I pronouncing all these right? So I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing things that don't sound like the correct way you're supposed to pronounce them. Again, I just thought of this topic, so um, please forgive me. Um, but this is Thangorodrim. Thangorodrim. And it's from the Silmarillion, on a chapter called Of Fairyland and Its Realms, page 118. Beneath arid Engrin, also known as Melkor, made a great tunnel which issued south of the mountains, and there he made a mighty gate. But above this gate, and behind it, even to the mountains, he piled the thunderous towers of Thangordurum that were made of the ash and the slag of the subterranean surfaces and the vast refuse of his tunnelings. They were black and desolate and exceedingly lofty, and smoke issued from their tops, dark and foul upon the northern sky. Before the gates of Angband, filth and desolation spread southward for many miles over the wide plain of Argolin.
Mhm.
And right away, like this kind of reminds me of the Grand Canyon a little bit. Of course, like
Oh,
not as grand as the Grand Canyon, but like how it's like shaped. Well, not shaped, but because like how like mountains and uh certain like cliff sides of land form through like
mhm.
subterranean surfaces. So it kind of reminds me of that.
Right.
This is of course not the Grand Canyon, it's like
Hmm.
where like there's darkness down below, um, very dangerous cliff sides, but here on the top it's like kind of smooth a little bit. Still some jagged edges, but like it's definitely more smoother up here than it is down here.
Right. All right. All right. I I feel like that quote matches with what's being shown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alrighty. We're moving on to April.
Ooh.
This is the Golfin's Challenge. Uh Kind of reminds me of like King Arthur a little bit.
Kind of looks like a trust fall.
Um so this is from a book called The Lays of Berlin, from a chapter called The Lay of Leviathan. And it's part not part. It's page 285. Engulfing like a shooting light, beneath a cloud a stab of white, spring then aside and Ringle drew. Like ice and glimmeth cold and blue, his sword devised of elvish skill, to pierce the flesh with deadly chill, with 7 wounds it rent his foe. And 7 mighty cries of woe rang in the mountains, and the earth woke, and Agben's trembling armies shook. So this is obviously a poem which uh, Tolkien writes a
Hmm.
lot in his books. And I think what's so cool is the fact that like um you can read the poems by itself and they still hold some type of value.
Yeah.
So this in the case of this type of poem, um it's different from the from ones like not all things that glitter are gold.
Hmm.
Um, this one is more telling the story of a battle, again, with what looks to be Sauron.
All right.
Um, but as you can see, like there's a desolate land, um, smoke rising from like
Mhm.
different like pockets of like what what is like magma on the surface.
Yeah.
And right away, you're caught to the attention of this battle, and specifically with the um Fingolfin, who's this like white knight with a white cape.
Hmm.
He's Gandalf the White.
I
Okay,
would.
he's not actually Gandalf the White,
He's
but
Aragorn the White.
Aragorn the White, yes. Um, yeah. And you know, looking at it now, it kind of reminds me of like David and Goliath.
Yeah,
And
a little bit. I can see it.
because like Sauron is like freaking huge.
Hmm.
Um, and like Fingolfin is just like smaller and shorter, you know. It's that dichotomy of like you feel small because the challenges ahead of you are bigger.
Hmm.
Um, but if you learn to conquer through them, then they won't be much of a threat anymore.
Right.
Um, and on this month, The Children of Hurin was first published in 2007.
Okay.
Um, Again, there are a lot of these books, um, a lot of which I've not read. I want to read the Silmarillion at some point, but one day I will. Okay,
Yeah.
this one is one of my favorites
Mhm.
because it's a water themed one. This is Almo, Lord of Waters. And this is from a book called The Unfinished Tales, and it's from a chapter of Thor, not Thor, of Tor and his coming to Gondolin, part 28, page 28.
Hmm.
A tall crown he wore like silver, from which his long hair fell down as foam glimmering in the dusk, and as he cast back the gray mantle that hung about him like a mist, behold, he was clad in a gleaming coat, close fitted as the mail of a mighty fish, and in a kirtle of deep green that flashed and flickered with sea fire as he strode slowly towards the land. In this manner, the dweller of the deep, whom Noldor named Ulmo, Lord of Waters, showed himself to Tor, son of Hor, of the house of Hador, beneath Vianmar.
Okay. I've got two things I need to say.
Okay.
First, I don't see any crown. That is a helmet, not a crown. Second thing, there is no like seafoam green in this. It is gray.
That that is that is true. But I do appreciate the artwork though. And like it
Hmm.
kind of I think maybe it should have been like a little bit of a different illustration because I don't really I see a little bit of green in these parts over there, but like only if you squint hard enough.
Yeah.
Um, but I love the artwork of Almo, you know, kind of reminds me of like someone like King Neptune,
Hmm.
which is probably what the close comparison could be. Although
Right.
honestly, sometimes he looks like an older Thor with a trident.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and again, like we have this like big this big huge being and then small guy. Although he has a very big sword here. Like, geez,
Yeah,
man.
that's
You lift, bro? Um, yeah, but I like this one. This is one of my favorites.
mm,
Um, and this one is water thing. Is there anything? Oh, they mentioned Beowulf because I don't know if I mentioned this in our podcast about favorite books. Um, but Beowulf was a very big inspiration for Tolkien. Um, Now it says that this version of Beowulf was published on May 22nd, 2014, which that wouldn't be like when it was first written because it was very old, because it's very old English. So it's either republished or there's a newer version out there, which I think there is. Um, let's see. And also May 5th, The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun was first published in 2009. Yeah, a lot of these books didn't get published right away.
all right. All right.
Maybe there maybe there will be other things that will get published. I don't know. Okay. We
Moving
move
on to
on.
June.
Yeah, we'll move on to June.
Ooh. All right,
Yeah.
before you even say the quote, the first thing that immediately catches my eyes, mountains.
Yeah.
That is
So this is Morgoth's forces before Gondolin. It's this one is from the Book of Lost Tales Part 2, and it's the fall of Gondolin. Uh, and it's from page 168.
mhm,
But the reed that Menglin gave to Melko that was that not all the host of the orcs nor the Balrogs in their fierceness might by assault or siege hope ever to overthrow the walls and gates of Gondolin, even if they wail to win onto the plain without. Therefore, he counseled Melko to devise of his sorceries a succor for his warriors in their endeavor from the greatness of his wealth of metals and his powers of fire. He bid him make beasts like snakes and dragons of irresistible might that should overcreep the encircling hills and lap that plain and its fair city in flame and death.
yeah.
Yeah, but I love this illustration.
Yeah, this
The
is
dragons like overseeing Gondolin, which is like this pure, well, I shouldn't say pure, but it's very white.
hmm.
And you got the broad mountains behind them.
Yeah.
Like I think mountains are like some of the most defining features of Middle Earth. Like they're freaking everywhere.
Yes.
Um,
Just like Tennessee.
um, okay. Let's see. We move on to July.
Yeah, I think we're making good progress time-wise.
This is
Ooh.
so this is called the White Tower of Elwyn. It's from The Lost Road, and it's from a chapter called Quinta Samarillion, page 327. On those journeys, Elwyn did not go, for she had not the strength to endure the cold and pathless voids, and she loved rather the earth and the sweet winds that blow on sea and hill. Therefore she let build for her a white tower upon the borders of the outer world, in the northern region of the sundering seas, and thither all the sea birds of the earth at times repaired.
All right.
So, so we got this white tower, and it's like
Mhm.
over showing like everything.
Yeah.
Um, I'm also trying to keep track of like any big publishing dates, but there is a big one. There is a big one for July. The Fellowship of the Ring was first published in 1954 on the 29th of July.
Oh, really?
Yep. Um, man, it's old. Um, let's see. But I kind of like the look of the White Tower and how small it is. And
Hmm.
you could see that there's some orcs, or I assume are orcs, just hanging on over there. And then there are two soldiers, so there must be some big battle going on. Um, and I think these are supposed to be the seabirds or seabird.
Hmm.
Alrighty.
I don't know. I feel like that one so far is my favorite one.
Yeah,
Oh, never
again,
mind. Never mind.
we move on to August. This is the drowning of Anadun. Um, it's from a book called Sauron Defeated. The Drowning of Anadun is the name of the chapter, and it's from page 373. In an hour unlooked for, this doom befell on the seventh evening since the passing of the fleets. Then suddenly there was a mighty wind and a tumult of the earth, and the sky reeled and the hills slid, and Anadun went down into the sea with all its children and its wives and its maidens and its ladies proud, and all its gardens and its halls and its towers, its riches and its jewels and its webs and its things painted and carven, and its laughter and its mirth and its music and its wisdom and its speech. They vanished forever.
Hmm.
So this is the this is a fall of like a great city. Um, which I think the top of it is like this city. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of Atlantis a little bit, or at least how it's depicted in the movie, where like in the introductory sequence for Atlantis: The Lost Empire, um,
Hmm.
they had it where like, oh, there's all this culture and wisdom throughout the city, but then the floods came by for whatever reason, and most of the city was lost, but some of it was spared and sunk underground. So it kind of reminds me of that.
Right.
uh so what made this stick out to you?
Honestly, it is the crashing waves on the tower or the tower that's smoking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love like natural beauty. Like if I go outside, I love seeing, a sunrise and a sunset. I like mountains. I like oceans.
Hmm.
I love an artist's depiction of that nature, the same nature that I enjoy normally being just absolutely destructive. And like I said, this is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So on the 30th of August, The Fall of Gondolin was first published in 2018.
All
Oh
right.
wait, no, it says the 31st. It has a dash on it. I guess they couldn't fit it all into like the little slash square space there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's one that we all are familiar with because at this point we've just been reading books that I honestly think most people have not read. Maybe the Silmarillion, but that's about it. And I've not read any of these books either. But this one is different because it features our good friend Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Gandalf Returns to Hobbiton, and it's from the Fellowship of the Ring, from a chapter called The Shadow of the Past, and it's on page 46. So this is very early into the first book.
Mm-hmm. I
It was
mean, you
just
can
at
tell. You can tell. It looks like the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Mhm. It was just at this time that Gandalf reappeared after his long absence. It was over 9 years since Frodo had seen or heard of him, and he had begun to think that the wizard would never return, and had given up all interest in hobbits. But that evening, as Sam was walking home and twilight was fading, there came the once familiar tap on the study window. So I need to mention this now because like I want to eventually get into a full discussion of like the comparison between the books and the movies.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest difference. So in the movie, not much time passes between like Gandalf appearing to Frodo. But in the books, it was over 9 years. Like Frodo was probably like in his late 30s when Bilbo left, and when Gandalf went to go search for uh what's his name? Not Sauron. Um Saruman. When he went
Mm-hmm.
to go search for Saruman and Sauron and Gollum. Uh but the thing is that it was a good chunk of time. Like Frodo is in his 50s in the Lord of the Rings books. Um, and I kind of wish that was kept in mind um, when going into it. Um, so some big things. Actually, there's a lot of things that we have to mention. I guess this is a big Lord of the Rings feature here because there's a lot of stuff that happened on this day. So Tolkien passed away um, September 2nd of 1973. Um, let's see. The Silmarillion was first published in 1977, so 4 years after he passed away. The Hobbit was first published on 1937 of the 21st of September, which is actually International Day of Peace. I don't know if that was established when he was reading it, but I think that's kind of cool. Um, September 22nd is Hobbit Day, also known as the autumn equinox.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, and I just love the artwork.
Yeah, the
I think
artwork again, it's beautiful.
yeah. I think we got time for one more before we have to transition to like the last two. So let's
Mhm.
move on to October real quick.
Yep.
Um, This is Edoras. I think that's how you pronounce it. But it's from a book called The Treason of Isengard, which is featured a lot in the Lord of the Rings books. It's from a chapter called The King of the Golden Hall, and it's from page 442.
Mhm.
They found a ford, much trampled upon either bank, with the passage of horses and passed over. And so at length they two rode up along the green road to Edoras. At the foot of the hill they passed between seven high green mountains. Already they were starred with small pale flowers, and in the shelter of their western flanks the grass was white, with nodding flowers, blossoms like tiny snowdrops.
All right.
Again, these illustrations really feature that like, oh, we got like this city that's like kind of pure, but we got all this imperfection surrounding us.
Hmm.
Um, and the illustrations like kind of, well, I don't mean imperfection in a bad way. because like, you know, in reality, a lot of the stuff that we have on Earth is imperfect,
Mm,
including the terrain around us. Like, there's not always going to be even ground. There's not always going to be an even level of water, you know, such and such.
mm.
Um, October 2nd was when the Unfinished Tales were first published. Um, and The Return of the King was first published in 1955 on October 20th.
All right.
Alrighty. So
That's
I think we should hop out of this meeting board and discuss
yep.
the last 2 months and maybe provide our overall thoughts.
All right, we'll do. So we'll come right back. Uh, or we'll be right back. So hang on for a sec. And we are back with, I think, are we on November now?
Yes, we are on November. This
Okay.
one is from another book that I think most people will recognize. It is November. It's from the Two Towers. This is Mumak of the Harad, and it's from the chapter of Herbs and Stewed Rabbit, from page 661.
Mm-hmm.
To his astonishment and terror and lasting delight, Sam saw a vast shape crash out of the trees and come car- uh, careening down the slope. Big as a house, much bigger than a house. It looked to him a great clad moving hill. Fear and wonder maybe enlarged him in the hobbit's eyes, but the Mumak of Harad was indeed a beast of vast bulk, and the like of him does not walk now in Middle Earth. His king that live in latter days are but memories of girth and majesty. So
No.
I think I remember this when I read The Two Towers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as you can see, we got like all the people like attacking the elephant. Um, and it seems pretty apparent that like they're a very endangered species.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love the looks of the forest. Now this, well, I don't know if this would be seafoam green, but like there's definitely a lot of green
Yes.
here. Um, let's see. Oh, so the Two Towers was first published on November 11th, which is Veterans Day.
11,
Uh,
11.
yeah, but it was first published in 1954. Also, Tolkien's son, Christopher Tolkien, was born on 1924, November 21st. Um, and he's probably the one responsible for publishing the rest of the other books.
All right. So the one, and this is just what's catching my eye. The one thing I'm noticing, we've got this major battle going on. People attacking the
Hmm.
elephant. If you look
Hmm.
up in the tree, you can see who I believe are Frodo and Samwise watching this entire thing happen. Up to the top left corner.
What? Oh, I did not notice this before.
You didn't notice it?
Yeah,
Ah,
no, no, like, because like I have my calendar hanged up in my room, but like I usually don't get the time to really observe the artwork, but that's cool.
that is
That's
really
actually a
cool.
really great detail.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Hmm.
All right. So I want to say that this is the last thing we're looking at, but to my shock and utter awe, this is not the end. Even though this is the last month, there's actually one more that we'll take a look at. Uh, but we're on December, and this is the end of all things. It's from Return of the King, which I've not read yet. And it's from a chapter, The Field of Cormallen, page 951.
Hmm.
And so it was that Gahir, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Gallagher? Gallagher? Stick to that. And so it was that Gallagher saw them with his keen, far-seeing eyes, as down the wild wind he came. And daring the great peril of the skies, he circled in the air, two small dark figures forlorn, hand in hand upon a little hill. While the world shook under them, and gasped, and the rivers of fire drew near, and even as he espied them, and came swooping down, he saw them fall, worn out or choked with fumes and heat, or stricken down by despair at last, hiding their eyes from death.
Yep.
So this is literally the end of all things. Um, like this really feels like desolation right here.
Yes.
Also, we got this really. I think this is Gallagher because that's the bird. I'm remembering now. This is the giant bird,
Hmm.
um, or falcon. I don't remember the correct terminology.
I don't know. I
But
I always thought it was a giant eagle.
it does look more like an eagle, at least in this illustration. It does.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love the colors though,
Yes,
like
it
all the
is.
different shades of red and the
Yep.
muted red, and like everything just like pouring down. This really does feel like desolation.
Yes, it does.
Um, Alrighty, so we got one more page to take a look at, and this is for a section that features like the 2026 calendar, but not for each month. This is for like the whole year.
Hmm.
Um,
Ooh.
but this is the Siege of Gondolin, which is featured a lot in this calendar actually.
Hmm.
But it's from the Silmarillion, and it's from a chapter of Tour and the Fall of Gondolin, which I think that was in a previous month too, but it's page 242. At last, in the year when Arundel was 7 years old, Margoth was already, Margoth was ready, or is it Morgoth? It is Morgoth. Morgoth was ready, and he loosed upon the Gondolin his Balrogs, and his orcs, and his wolves, and with them came dragons of the brood of Galron.
Hmm.
And they were become now many and terrible. The hosts of Morgoth came over the northern hills where the height was greatest, and the watch least vigilant. And it just trails off.
Hmm. All right. I don't know. Like I said, this artwork's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And again, like I'm sure there's gonna be one made for 2026, but there's
Mm.
ones for like previous years too.
Right.
Real quick though, I do want to talk about some of the other people that are not J.R.R. Tolkien because the calendar features them. So let's talk about Christopher Tolkien a little bit. So Christopher Tolkien was born on the 24th of November, 1924. He was the third son of J.R.R. Tolkien. As his father's literary executor, he executor, not executor. As his
Yeah, two
father's
different things.
literary as his father's literary executor, he devoted over 40 years to the publication of his father's unpublished works, from the Silmarillion and Unfinished Tales to Beren and Lúthien and the Fall of Gondolin, and within the History of Middle-earth series, and was awarded the Bodley Medal for his services to literature in 2026. And he died January of 2020 at the age of 95. That is nuts.
Hmm. It's very
And,
nuts.
and you know what? No, I'll save it for another day. Let's talk about John Howe. So John Howe was born in 1957 in Vancouver, Canada. He has illustrated many French children's books, which makes sense because Canada is a very French-centric culture,
Yep.
but is best known for his Tolkien calendars, book jackets, maps, and posters, and as the author of A Middle-earth Traveler. He was a conceptual artist on Peter Jackson's acclaimed Middle-earth movie trilogies. Oh! So he
Hmm.
did do concept art for this. That is cool. And most recently, he's worked on Amazon Prime's The Rings of Power and the Warner
Ooh.
Brothers animated film The Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim.
Ooh, I've been debating on watching that one.
So like yeah, the he's done more recent stuff. So that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um let's see. Yeah, I think that would be good. So yeah,
Mhm. All
Tolkien
right.
is Tolkien's amazing.
Yes. Well, this
Tolkien's amazing.
this artwork is amazing.
The artwork is amazing too. Here's the thing.
Hmm.
Um, because I think about this when people talk about like some of the greatest RPGs, because like dialogue is a very important thing, but so is the artwork and the music and everything that accompanies it.
Yes.
And like no matter how you think about Lord of the Rings as a movie series, like I absolutely love the music in those movies.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
like a lot of the stuff is just very angelic in a way.
Right.
It switches to like different moods, but like it really feels as if you are in this very grounded, fantastical world.
Hmm.
And I
Right.
say grounded because as we've talked about before, especially in the case of Lord of the Rings, this is a book about the consequences. Well, the whole story of Middle Earth is a consequence of war and of power and how it can corrupt somebody, even the most purest of beings.
Hmm.
Um, and some people are able to fight it off, and some aren't. But yeah, I love this stuff, and I like the fact that each month you get to read a different quote and learn things that you haven't known before. Because again, I don't think most people touch these books because these are very recently published.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even heard of half of these books.
Yeah, and that makes sense because like Tolkien, like he created like this world way before The Hobbit was published.
Hmm.
He had the logistics of how the world worked and everything, along with his friend, um, who I think died in World War I. Um,
Right.
and like Tolkien, as we've talked about before,
Wait, hold on. What year did you say Tolkien was born?
let's see, let me look. 1892.
1892. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is World War I because like
Yep.
he because World War II wasn't until like the 1940s.
Hmm.
Um, but Tolkien does not like
He's a
war.
freak. Sorry.
He does not like war whatsoever, and that's clearly evident in The Hobbit too, because in that book alone, it's only mentioned in like one page, like the Battle of the Five Armies.
Hmm.
Um, and hence why I think the Hobbit trilogy fails so much. Because they had to make it into three movies when it did not need three movies.
Right. No, I agree with that one.
Yeah, but no, but regardless to say, Tolkien is a great writer. I want to get more in depth into his stuff in the future.
Hmm.
Um, but that'll be saved for another day.
All right. Yep. And then with that, this episode is officially done. We've only got three more episodes left before the end of the year, which means we got three more episodes left in what we are considering season two. I have put all of our first, like our longer episodes, I put all of those in a little playlist. You should be able to see that if you go onto our page. And once this year's wrapped up, I'll put all of these ones in a playlist for season two. But with that, I'm Xavier Dean.
And I'm Jacob Green.
We'll see you next week for another episode. Have a wonderful day.